welcome to Custom Made in New York podcast. I am your host, Raven Joseph. This is episode 5. This week, we're going to talk about 5 ways to decrease your debt. I'm so happy that I'm still here. I definitely fell asleep. I was supposed to be recording sooner, but I fell asleep and I realized I was actually tired when I was falling asleep during independent reading time, which is my favorite time of the day with my students because everyone is quiet and reading. And I'm joking. That's not my favorite time, but it is kind of sort of. So I came home and I fell asleep. I couldn't even finish making my tea. That's how exhausted I was. So right now I'm drinking microwave tea. Don't judge me. But yeah, so this week we're going to discuss 5 ways to help pay off your debt. So this is tax season, as you know. Some of us are excited for it. I'm not, because I don't see that money. I actually donate it back to my nonprofit. But this is tax season and we need to be smart about getting out of debt. So I am going to post this episode so that you can have some ideas about how to do better with your finances, especially for us who are in debt. 5 ways to pay off debt faster. 1, you have to create a budget. I swear I go through my budget like every 2 months, just to like make sure that I'm not spending in places that I shouldn't be spending. For example, at one point, I feel like I was paying for my gym membership and I was only going in the summertime, but I was paying for it year round. And like, it was $35. I was never canceling it. And it was going on for years. So just thinking about that alone, that bill alone. And although I knew I was spending money on it, I actually went to the gym and they told me I had to send in this form and all this stuff. And like, I was too lazy to do it, which is not a good thing, but just creating a budget to determine where you are. So create that budget, write everything down, separate your necessities from your wants. It's like, what do you need? Right? You need light and gas. What do you need? You need your cell phone to, especially if you have children, to communicate with them. I have some parents who their cell phone or their house phone, their contact information is never on. That's a priority. If you have kids going to school and they're not with you 24/7, why don't you have a phone that works? I'm not judging, but I'm judging. Priorities. Left side priorities, right side, write down the things that you don't really need, but it's nice to have. All right, so 1, create your budget. And then 2, just having better habits. Go deep into your budget. What is some things that you can get rid of? Even if it's temporarily, write down that debt, that amount of debt that you've accumulated on the top of that page. What can you get rid of on that right side that you don't need? Even if it's for like half a year. Like, I'm not going to watch Stars for half a year just because I want to save $20 each month. It really adds up, right? Half a year is $120 that can go towards your debt. So thinking like that, you don't have to stop using things permanently, but it can be temporarily to get you out of the situation that you're in. So looking at things to get rid of course, is big. Another thing you can do is deleting your credit card information offline. Another important thing you should change if you have this habit is to delete any credit card information you have online. So one of the things that I did was I deleted Amazon. I don't know if you're aware or if you use the, what did I have? What is that thing called? Prime? Is it Prime? Yeah. So overnight shipping. If you look at the amount of money you spent in the year from Amazon, because it's so easy just to click and get the items the next day. I'm a person that does not like to go out into the world and shop. I rather just it come to me, especially in the winter time. Deleting all your credit card information offline would be an easier way for you not to spend, because then you have to go find your bank card or information to go insert it. And in that time, you can kind of think to yourself, like, is this what I need to be doing right now? Is this what I need to purchase? One of the things I've recently done is left it in the cart, and I'll wait a few days, or I'll even wait till my next check. do I still need this or can I do without it? And it's been working out. I don't even want this anymore. Avoid buyer's remorse, right? So change your habits by deleting your bank account information off of your online accounts. And also, you can stop using your credit card and debit cards, period. Leave them at home. Take a little cash, plan your day. If you're sticking to your budget, shopping, all right, I'm going to bring my card out today, right? I'm going to use my card, but when I come home, I'm going to put it away. During the week, I know I bring my own lunch. That's another way to save money, so I can put that money that I would spend towards lunch on the debt that I owe. So if I'm bringing my own lunch to school or to work, in other words, I work at a school, but I'm bringing my own lunch to work, then why should I have to bring a debit card? No, I'll bring a couple of bucks just in case I need to take an Uber home, just in case I'm hungry again, or just in case something comes up. I have change in my wallet, but at the same time, I'm not tempted to splurge and like swipe that. But swipe, that's me. I swipe all the time. It's easier for you not to swipe if you don't have the card. So just bringing a little extra cash for emergencies out of the house, especially during the week when you're going to and from home, would be great, right? So stop all that spending, stop using your debit card. You can even have another checking account, transfer your funds that you use for grocery shopping and your laundry and all the things that you need to do during the month or during that pay period on one card. So you have budgeted that money already. You have budgeted for gas. So I'm going to take $80 out for the next 2 weeks for my gas, right? I'm going to take $150 out for my hair for this month, right? I'm going to take probably $50 out just in case I need to go to the doctor and I have to pay my copay. You're budgeting, you're creating a budget and you're putting money aside. Some people I know, they use like the envelopes. I've done that at one point and put receipts back in just to track my spending per month. It's work. If you have time to do that, great. Another thing you can use is Mint. Online, it tells you your spending, and if you like spend cash, you can also add it into your Mint account and track your budget over the month and see where. I remember when I first started using Mint. I'm sorry, I kind of went off track, but I remember when I started using Mint, and when I first got my first teaching job, I spent $600 on groceries. $600 on groceries. I would not have known had I not had Mint. I was super excited to have money, my first salary, full-time job as a teacher. I felt like I was bad and bougie, and yeah, I was buying lobster tails. Didn't even know how to prepare them, but I was buying seafood left and right. Like, I was splurging, and I was just like, how is one person eating $600 worth of groceries in a month, right? So just using Mint and seeing like the percentage of my money going to which areas, like, stopped me, saved me the embarrassment of continuing to do it the next month. So just using Mint, it's a free app. I love it. Just to see what areas you could save more on or where you're going over budget. That leads us to number 3, call your service provider. I do this quite often, especially with electricity, how it fluctuates and all this stuff. I'm always looking for better prices. I remember when I first started paying my own bills, I would go back and forth, like 2-year agreement with Optimum, 2-year agreement with Verizon, and like keep swapping. But I've actually been with Optimum for a couple of years now. I'm tired of doing the back and forth. I don't have it in me anymore. But that's another way to save because, after your agreement is up, sometimes the prices do go up, or they'll give you like 6 months of this free subscription once you sign on with them, but then it changes after and the prices increase. So I believe I was paying I would say $40 less than what I'm paying now when I first started paying my triple package on my own when I started living by myself. So I'm always looking for that. Even with insurance, car insurance, I was able to cut my insurance in half by 50% by just looking online, filling out an application, and learning of other insurances that give the same exact policy. And I wrote this on the blog for She Wins. society. I submitted that. I'm actually going to put a link in my bio to that so you can see some ways that I've been saving, especially last year when I was transitioning in between jobs. This was like business. Like I had to really stick with my budget so that I wouldn't go into the new year broke. Number 4, pay off the biggest debt. Pay off the most expensive first. So whatever is your biggest debt, focus on that. Especially the one with high interest rates. You want to get rid of that as soon as possible. So with your credit cards, if you have credit cards, don't pay the minimum, pay more than the minimum. I was able to pay off my car note really fast because I was paying an additional amount of money, what I could afford, because I looked at my budget and I saw where I had some things that I could have gotten rid of, and I used that to pay off my car. So not paying off the minimum balance is not going to be enough. It's not going to work. Number 5, side hustle. Get a side job. A side hustle. The census is booming right now. They pay really well. I think it's $28 an hour, and they give you like 20 hours a week. So the census, although it's temporary, if you need to pay off that debt, why not go for it? You understand? Like even when I was in college, even prior to college, when I was in high school, I was working and I had another job on top of me working my other job at the grocery store because I needed that extra money to buy my laptops and buy my stuff for school because I didn't have like someone to give it to me, right? So getting a side job, even tutoring, online tutoring is a big thing now. Finding a little side hustle that is not going to take too much of your time, but at the same time give you a little bit of money, extra money a week. So figure out what works for you, what you like, and go for it. So just a quick recap. Number 1, make sure you create a budget so that you can determine what your needs and wants are, and so that you can go into number 2 and get rid of the things that you don't need, the habits that you have, including spending online. Remove all of those. Have even an accountability partner to help you to break those bad habits. And number 3, reach out to your service providers for your insurance, your electricity, your cable. Determine whether or not they have any better pricing if you're comparing to other service providers, or any promotions. Ask them for a promotion that's going on. Especially if you've been with a service for a number, X amount of years, they should be able to give you a discount. You're a loyal member, right? So ask them, push them, demand it. No, I'm playing. And so number 4, pay off the biggest debt first. Make sure you're paying over the minimum balance so that you are getting rid of the debt faster. If you're paying only the minimum balance, that means that you're still owing more money at the end. And another thing you can avoid with credit cards is making sure that you have credit cards that have the no interest rate for a number of years. So I know that with Care Credit is one example. If you have they give you about 2 years to pay off the debt without interest, or even Best Buy does the same depending on how much money you spend in their store. They'll give you 6 to 12 months of interest free. So you're paying off your debt faster and you're not losing money in the process. And finally, number 5, get a side hustle. Find something that interests you, that is not stressful or adding on weight to you. And because you have a side hustle or a side job, doesn't mean that it has to be forever. If you have a goal in mind to pay off that credit card debt, do it temporarily. Give yourself a deadline. Push yourself just to get rid of it. Work hard towards it. Be consistent. And you'll be happy with the results after. Good luck. I know you can do this. You got this. Make sure if you have any questions, you go to my Instagram page, Custom Made in New York. You can hit me up on the DM. Also, my email, custommadeinNewYork@gmail.com. I thank you so much for listening this week. Please subscribe and tune in next week. Thank you.